Hello students of standard 8. Already we have discussed about the moment of force. Now I shall teach you about the pressure. What is the pressure? The thrust acting per unit area is called pressure. Pressure is equal to force by area. All of you look at the board. So pressure equal to thrust by area. Thrust means that is a force. So force by area. The SI unit of pressure is equal to Newton per meter square. Why it is Newton per meter square? Because the SI unit of thrust or force is Newton and the SI unit of area is meter square. So the SI unit of pressure is Newton per meter square. Also it is called Pascal. The CGS centimeter gram seconds unit of pressure is dyne per centimeter square. Dyne is the CGS unit of force. Centimeter square is the CGS unit of area. Clear all? Now I shall discuss about the pressure depend upon the thrust and area. So the effect of force depends the area over which it is applied. Now one activity I am saying you, once again I am saying you the same one. The effect of force depend upon the area over which it is applied. One activity I am saying you now. All of you look at this pencil. This is the sharpened end of the pencil. This is the flattened end. Understood? This is the flattened end or the blunt end of the pencil. Now if I shall press with my fingers. Now if I shall press it with the two fingers. After just a minute or after some time, you will see that a deeper mark. All of you look at my finger. A deeper mark is in this finger where the sharpened end is connected. But in this finger there is no deeper mark. This means what you understood? We understood that. So the effect of force depend upon the area over which it is applied. How it is applied or how it depends. Thus the effect of force is greater when the area of contact is smaller, because in the sharpened end the area of contact is less, so the effect of force is more. Where the pointed end, the other end, the area is more, so their effect of force is less. Not only the effect of force depends upon the area over which it is applied, but also it depends upon the magnitude of force. Once again I am saying you, effect of force depend upon the magnitude of force applied. Just you see one activity. Look at this. This is a very soft pillow. This is a very soft pillow. If I shall place or put one book over here, you see it is a slightly depressed or slightly goes down. If one more book I shall place here, you will see again it going more deep. If once again I shall put one more book, what you will see? Again it is going more deep. Thus, from this experiment or observation, from this experimental activity, what we observe? We observe that effect of force depends upon the magnitude of force applied. How it depends? Greater the force, greater is its effect. If I shall apply, suppose the first book is 500 gram, that is the 500 gram force. Suppose the second book is again 500 gram force. The total is 500 plus 500, 1000 gram force. This means more is the force, then greater is its effect. Understood all? So I can say you, pressure depend upon two factors. Number one, thrust. Number two, area. Our definition, once again I am saying you, the thrust acting per unit area is called pressure. Pressure depend upon two factors. Number one, thrust. Number two, area. More is the thrust, more is the pressure. Less is the thrust, less is the pressure. Pressure is directly proportional to the thrust. Similarly, pressure and area, they are inversely proportional. More is the area, less is the pressure. Less is the area, more is the pressure. In our day-to-day life, many more examples we have seen. For example, some applications I am saying you in your day-to-day life. Suppose you have seen a sharpened knife or scissor. It is easier to cut the vegetable or anything with a sharpened knife than the blunt one. Similarly, the scissors, if it is more sharpened, it is easier to cut a paper or anything. So what do you observe? This means less is the area, more is the pressure. This means effect of force is more. Thus, in a sharpened knife or scissor, the things can be easier cut. We can easily cut a things. Why? Because less is the area, more is the pressure. Even if a small force can achieve a better result. This means we can cut the things very easily. One more example I am saying you. Suppose alpines, nails, they have the 2 points. One is a tip end, other is the flatted end. Or one is the pointed end, other is the flatted end. We might have seen it is easily, if a nail, when nail is easily pressed into the, suppose you have to see this wall, you can easily, suppose it is a pointed end, look at this. Now suppose it is a nail. Now you can easily, if you hammer it, in this way can easily press into the wall. But in this way, it cannot be easily pressed into the wall. Why? Because in this end, the area is less. So pressure would be more. But in this case, the area is more, so the pressure would be less. So in our day-to-day life, many more examples are there where the application of pressure, increasing the pressure or decreasing the pressure. Once more, I am saying you some examples. All of you look at. Now we will discuss some example about decreasing pressure. All of you look at this diagram. All of you look at this diagram. Now high-rise building have massive weights, and thus this is the high-rise building. They are very more weights, and thus apply a large force on the ground. In order to reduce the pressure exerted by them on the ground, they have the broad base, because it is a very high force or high weight. Since it is a more weight, so naturally, so large force on the ground, it apply the large force on the ground. In order to reduce the pressure exerted by them on the ground, they have a broad base, because more is the area, less is the pressure, so less pressure exerted by the building on the ground. One more example I am showing you. Suppose heavy vehicles and ones that carry huge loads in them are provided with extra tires to increase in their surface area, thus keeping the pressure reduced. You might have seen many vehicles, heavy vehicles have many more tires are there, many more wheels are there. If more number of wheels are there, the surface area of the wheel becomes more. Area becomes more. Thus pressure becomes less. To reduce the pressure, naturally the surface area becomes more. Now one more example I am showing you. Pillars supporting a bridge have a base much broader than their tops. Why? Because the base having the more area. Broader means more area. If it is more area, so naturally it exerts less pressure on the ground. Clear all? So this is done to reduce the pressure exerted on the ground by the enormous weight of the bridge, because the bridge has more weight, hence it may sink. To reduce this, so area should be more. And one more example, you might have seen your school bag or your travel bag. There the straps and handles of travel bags or school bags are made broad to reduce the pressure on our soldiers. If it is less area, naturally we will be hurt more. It is very difficult to carry the bags. Thus it is a very wider or broader. Why it is wider? Because area is more, naturally it will apply the less pressure on your shoulders. Similarly, look at here army tankers or caterpillar trucks in army tanks. Army tanks, look at this diagram all. Everybody look at this diagram. Army tanks, this is the army tank, are often required to move in marshy and uneven areas. Why? To prevent them from sinking. Sinking means inside the ground. To prevent them from sinking, they are provided with broad steel tracks called caterpillar tracks. This is called caterpillar tracks. Caterpillar tracks means natural the area becomes more. If the area is more, it increase the surface area means thus reduce the pressure on the ground. So it may not sink into the ground. And one more example you see. Wooden sleepers. These are the wooden sleepers. Wooden sleepers are placed below the railway tracks. Why? Because its surface area is more. To increase the surface area, on top surface area, so if the surface area will be more, so pressure exerted by the tracks or when the train comes over it will be less. Once again I am saying you, the wooden sleepers are placed below the railway tracks to increase the area of contact between the trains and the ground, thereby decreasing the pressure on the ground. Otherwise, it may sink. So these are all the examples of decreasing pressure.